Hey there, Cubs fans. Welcome in. Welcome back. It's AJ, your average fan here today. And yeah, Cubs bullpen definitely took a classic 2023-2024 nosedive today in Arizona. Cubs lose 10 to 6 against Arizona, so they split the series. They are 2-4 on the season. We will do a series wrap up, if you will, and then we will take a peek at Sacramento and the Athletics series coming up. We'll look at the pitching probables for that. But let's get into the game today. In the game today, looking at the pitching, before we got to the bullpen, Boyd goes 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 walks, 5 Ks, lays a 0 ERA. He did really well. I think that he did really well getting 5 innings out of him. I did not have any issues with how Boyd pitched, and for him being the fourth guy in the rotation, I think that that's going to be more than serviceable if he could piggyback, you know, if he can continue to mount starts like that, especially as the season goes on, he gets his arm stretched out a little bit. He should be able to go a little bit further. Uh, so we'll look at the batting here because I think that the bats did semi decent today. Nothing too crazy outside of some home runs. Um, Ian Happ 1 for 4, 3 Ks today. Suzuki 2 for 4 with a K and 2 RBIs. He hit a home run today. Kyle Tucker back-to-back days with a home run today. So that's awesome for him. 1 for 4, 3 RBIs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Uh, Justin Turner 0 for 2 today. Bush 0 for 1. Swanson 2 for 4. Dansby Swanson putting one up in the outfield seats. Horner 1 for 4. Pete Armstrong laid a goose egg today going 0 for 4, but I don't have an issue with that. Um, Shaw 1 for 4, so he's backing up what he did yesterday with another hit today. Maya 1 for 4, he stays hot. So you know, all around, I think that the batting did fairly well today. We scored 2 innings or two. I'm sorry, 1 run in the second, 2 in the 6th, 3 in the 8th, and that is how we got our 6 runs today. However, Arizona scored 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and then scored 8 in the 8th inning. Nothing to be really pleasantly happy about at all, in my opinion. We will talk about this bullpen pretty extensively here. I think that the Cubs played really well outside of this 8th inning with the bullpen. I think that their defense was relatively solid. I think that their at bats are I think that they're showing urgency at least on the offensive side of things. I think that the offense is starting off in a better spot than they did last year for sure. Um, so you got so you split the series 2-2. We'll talk about this bullpen issue here because Pearson comes into the game, pitches an inning and a third, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 2 walks. Then we go to Thielbar here. He didn't allow a hit, but he had 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. And then you get to Eli Morgan. He pitches 2/3 of an inning, 6 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned, 1 walk, gave up a home run. And then Rhea, he had just 1 hit, but then gets out of the inning to lay a 0 on the board for ERA wise. Um, yeah, I understand. Craig Counsell in his interview after the game had said that he had said that they just didn't have anybody. Merriweather was up twice today. He was up twice yesterday. They haven't had anybody. They didn't have enough arms ready to go in the bullpen today. So I mean, I could see that side of the argument, but letting Morgan go and let this game get completely out of hand, giving up 6 runs, little on the ridiculous side. I think that I think that us as Cubs fans have had enough of seeing this storyline of bullpen blunder, bullpen falls apart late, bullpen this, bullpen that, and it's just we've endured this for 2.5 seasons. We've endured the trading for talent for 5 years, the bullpen rebuild for 5 years. It's just you salary dumped Cody Bellinger and you pick up Kyle Tucker, but you still had money to spend, and you could have spent money on some quality bullpen arms, A-list arms, mind you. You had the opportunities to, and you didn't do that. And now you're in a position where you kind of hope that some of these guys shake out at least decently well, plus the arms that you have in Iowa, guys that didn't make the opening day roster, that got outrighted and cleared or waivers. So I mean, the bullpen depth is there. The problem is does that bullpen depth matter when it's does the bullpen depth matter when you just don't have any like A list guys really in that bullpen? Granted, it's the first like real series because out in Japan was 2 games. It was against the World Series defending champions Dodgers. You kind of knew that they were probably going to win both games anyways because they're absolutely stacked. But when you look at the opportunities that you really had to put this game away, just to give it all up in one inning is definitely troublesome because your high leverage guys just aren't really ready. Outside of Porter Hodge, you really just don't have anybody that could really lock down an inning for you. And I don't even think that you could trust the closer, Presley. I had tweeted out yesterday that you got to have a quick hook with the guy because of the abysmal spring training, how he went out and pitched in Tokyo. It's just, I mean, we dealt with this last year with Alzolay and Hector Neris. I don't think that I just don't think that us as Cubs fans really deserve to really continue down this path of having to worry about, late inning guys coming in to lock out a game. I mean, we saw it all off season long. The CHGO podcast talked about it. Locked On Cubs talked about it. I'm sure all these other podcasts had talked about it, but the one thing that a lot of people had said was that, seventh inning or later, if you're up by a minimum of 3 runs, your odds of winning are like 96%. Like, it's absolutely insane because usually you bring in those high leverage guys for the seventh, eighth, and ninth, and you lock down the game. Um, and now you're looking at, you don't know if these high leverage guys can lock down this game for you. And I think that that's a little bit ridiculous because you're only in the first series and you're kind of already having to worry about bullpen guys. And I just, I don't think that it's really fair, especially to guys like Kyle Tucker who hit a what should have been a game sealing 3-run home run. It shouldn't be fair to guys like Seiya Suzuki who hit a home run and Dansby Swanson that hit a home run. Like, the offense is producing and the offense is doing what the offense should do. I mean, you put up 6 runs against an Arizona team that led the league in runs per game last year. Granted, they still missed the postseason, but you beat up on outside of the second game of the series. You really did beat up on a team that led the league in scoring all year last year. And well, Arizona and their league leading stats showed up in the eighth inning right there. Because again, I mean, you didn't let them score all the way up until the sixth inning at all. It should have been a sealed deal. You just didn't have the bullpen arms to pull that off today. I mean, that's just a real shame that it had to play out that way. But we'll look at doing this whole series breakdown. If I can get this schedule here pulled up. Good Lord. Computer be lacking. So, yeah, on Thursday, you played, it was Justin Steele and Gallon, I was actually really worried about to go up against because he's the notorious Cubs silencer, at least when he's pitching against us. But Steele went and played. He pitched a fairly good game outside of that third inning where he got knocked around a little bit. Um, but the Cubs, or I'm sorry, I'm looking at the score backwards. He gave up one in the first and the second, and then again in the fourth. He went 5 innings that game. So you went and you won that game 10-6. Excellent job there. Friday's game, it was Kelly against Tyone, which is kind of weird. I figured that Imanaga would have gone second in the rotation, but Tyone did. Uh, Tyone and his road stats are kind of rearing their head again. I mean, I also get it. He hasn't seen regular season action yet, but I mean, his splits when it comes to his ERA home compared to away is really staggering. But again, this is his first regular season start of the year, so I mean, I will give him a little bit of a lead there, just to kind of reel himself back in because I mean, I don't think that he'll get beat up, giving up 5 runs in 4 innings again. I don't really foresee him getting beat up that bad. But you lose 8-1, so the series is tied. Then Saturday rolls around. It's Imanaga. He pitched a beautiful game. Really fantastic stuff out of him. He only gave up 1 run in what, six and a third, or in 7 innings. You win that game 4-3, so you're up one. You had really good vibes going into today, and then your offense shows up and show out. You think that you're just going to beat up on them again, and then that eighth inning happens. So you wind up splitting the series 4-4. Series takeaways. I don't think that our starting pitching is really going to be a worry. I'm really curious to see how Ben Brown does out in Sacramento because he will get his first start tomorrow if the weather holds up. I think that the offense did their fair share. I like the fact that with Swanson and Tucker was down for that first game, but guys like Ian Happ, Suzuki, the speed from PCA, they took care of it the first game. Excellent stuff there. And then later in the series it was Dansby Swanson and Kyle Tucker. So you like to see that balance in the offense because not everybody is going to be able to hit at an all-star level or superstar level every single day. So I liked what I saw out of the offense. Outside of that Friday game where they got held to just one run. I think that the offense produced fairly well. I think that that's a very good sign for the offense, especially because of everybody being worried about Kyle Tucker and what happened in the preseason with him. For him to kind of flip that switch and he turned his stuff around. In the 2 home runs in back-to-back games. I mean, that's just outstanding work. So, and what's crazy is that, the bullpen, the bullpen really did okay yesterday because they really only had to work, uh, in the eighth and ninth, outside of Presley giving up 2 runs. I mean, that puts you on edge a little bit. Everybody got hit around on, Friday, but Thursday, I mean, the bullpen again did pretty well. So, um, I just think that Thursday and Saturday could have been or Friday and Sunday could have been fairly winnable games had your bullpen really not kind of quit on you. Again, I understand that Counsell said that he didn't really have anybody ready because, Keller went and pitched 47 pitches on Friday, so he wouldn't have been available today anyways as well. So that is what it is. But we'll go ahead and look ahead into the Athletics series. So the Athletics are 2-2, Cubs are 2-4. Um, we got Ben Brown against Es Estes, I think is how his name is pronounced. Estes. Yeah, so that's a right-hand pitcher, so we should see the same lineup that we saw yesterday. With Bush probably getting the start. We should see Nico Horner. I would guess that he might get a day off on Tuesday or maybe Wednesday. I would say probably Tuesday with Steele starting. He might see a day off. But yeah, Ben Brown, I'm excited to see what he does tomorrow. Again, these are all late games, so that's going to be kind of a problem with my schedule. So the way that those will work is for the late games that were against Arizona here, I did my game breakdown the following morning. I recorded them on my break at work, and I will probably do that for these games against the Athletics. Tuesday, I am off for an inventory we got going on, so that should be regular schedule. And then the getaway game on Wednesday is at 2:35, so that would be regular as well. So tomorrow, Monday, you might not see a post-game reaction after the game. I will probably do that Tuesday morning. But yeah, so Ben Brown against Estes. So I think that this is going to be a pretty solid matchup. I think that Ben Brown's got some good stuff, and I think that having his first regular season start will be really good for him. I'd expect him to go 4 to 5 innings, depending on pitch management and count management, I should say. But we should expect to see a pretty standard lineup there with a right-hand pitcher from the Athletics. On Tuesday, it'll be Steele versus Severino. This will be really interesting because Severino is a pretty good pitcher. Justin Steele just pitched really well against Arizona, so I'm excited to see him see if he could keep that up on his second start, see if he could roll out, past 5 innings, get 6 or 7 in there, depending on his pitch counts. That would be awesome. Wednesday, I'm still confused because it's showing Tyone as the third pitcher. I would really, hopefully, on one of these off days when everybody gets an off day, Tyone and Imanaga flip. I think that Imanaga would be better as the number 2 man in the rotation. But nonetheless, Tyone and Springs, that's a left-handed pitcher, so you'll probably see that batting order switch out with Michael Bush and Turner, and then you'll probably see not Bruhan, Gage Workman get to start for Nico Horner if they are going to continue uh, trying to manage Nico Horner until his injury has or his surgery recovery has subsided and he is completely recovered. But Cubs fans, I think that will cover it for tonight. The Cubs drop another game with another bullpen blunder. Hopefully this gets rectified fast. Hopefully Craig Counsell, after having a first year of management with the Cubs, after he just kind of was seeing how everything went and who he had, hopefully with the new additions, hopefully he could figure out who he can trust in these late innings situations. Hopefully that just kind of rectifies itself with Craig Counsell being in year 2 now with the Cubs. Hopefully the Presley situation gets better if they don't have a short hook on him because you're really going to need him to pitch well, in my opinion. You can't have another Hector Neris situation there. But yeah, we move on to Sacramento, my friends, and we will try to do a pregame video for that before the game starts. It is a 9 o'clock game, so I should be able to get one out to you guys. Uh, if I'm home at the time I think I'm going to be home, I should be able to roll that out somewhere around 3 o'clock for you guys, so keep an eye on out for that. But with that, Cubs fans, yeah, start the season. Cubs start the. If my computer here would. Hey, Cubs start the season 2-4 after dropping the finale to Arizona 10-6. On to Sacramento, and we will catch you guys